How is it possible that every eye on the planet will see Jesus simultaneously when he returns? This is one of the most intriguing questions about the second coming of Christ, and the answer goes far beyond what you imagine. Stay until the end, because I will reveal not only how this is possible, but also details about Jesus' return that will leave you completely amazed. The Bible is categorical. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7 declares, "Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all tribes of the earth will wail on account of him. Every eye will see him, not some, not most, everyone." But how is this physically possible on a spherical planet where half the population is always on the opposite side? This question has intrigued theologians, scientists, and Bible scholars for centuries. But the answer is hidden in the scriptures themselves, waiting to be discovered by those who delve into divine mysteries. First, let's understand what makes this promise so extraordinary. Our planet has approximately 40,000 kilometers of circumference. At any given moment, half of Earth is in full daylight, while the other half is in the darkness of night. When it's noon in Brazil, it's midnight in China. When the sun is setting in Europe, it's rising in Australia. So how can every eye see Jesus simultaneously? The answer lies in the very nature of Christ's second coming, which will be fundamentally different from any event ever witnessed in human history. But before revealing this answer, I need to show you something that will completely change your perspective. Jesus' return will not be a localized event. It won't be like a man walking down a street where only those nearby can see him. It will be a cosmic event that transcends normal physical limitations. Matthew chapter 24, verse 30 gives us a crucial clue. "Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man. Then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Note the phrase, "will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man." It doesn't say he will appear in a specific location on earth, but in heaven. And here's the first key to understanding this mystery. Heaven is visible from all earth. Think about it. When you look at the sky during the day, you see the sun. That same sun is theoretically visible from any point on Earth during the daylight hours of that region. During the night, the stars you see are the same ones that can be seen from vast regions of the planet, depending on latitude. But Jesus won't be like the sun or stars. His manifestation will be far more extraordinary. Luke chapter 17, verse 24 gives us another important clue. "For as the lightning flashes and lights up the sky from one side to the other, so will the Son of Man be in his day." Lightning. This is a powerful comparison that many don't fully understand. Lightning isn't just localized light. It's an energy manifestation that can illuminate vast stretches of sky instantaneously. But Jesus' return will be infinitely more glorious than any natural lightning. Now, here's where it gets truly fascinating. Modern science helps us understand possibilities that ancient prophets could only describe in poetic language. We know today that light can behave in extraordinary ways. We know about atmospheric phenomena that can be seen simultaneously from multiple points on the planet. The Northern Lights, for example, can be seen simultaneously from multiple countries in the Northern Hemisphere. Large meteors can create light shows visible from entire continents. But Jesus' return will be something infinitely superior to any known natural phenomenon. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7 not only says every eye will see him, but specifies that even those who pierced him will see him. This implies that even the dead will be resurrected to witness this event. It's not just a matter of physical geography, but spiritual reality transcending material limitations. And here's something that will surprise you. The very nature of the risen Jesus suggests capabilities that transcend normal physical limitations. After the resurrection, Jesus appeared simultaneously to groups of disciples in different locations. He appeared through closed doors. He disappeared and reappeared instantly. John chapter 20, verse 19 records, "On the evening of that day, the first day of the week, the doors being locked where the disciples were for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them and said to them, 'Peace be with you.'" If Jesus could appear through locked doors, transcending normal physical limitations, how much more can he manifest himself to be seen by all earth simultaneously in his glorious second coming? But there's more. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 gives us additional details about how Jesus' return will be. "For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of command, with the voice of an archangel, and with the sound of the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first." The word command here, in the original Greek, is kalousma, which means a shout of command, specifically used for military commands or a general's calls to his troops. It won't be a silent or discreet arrival. It will be an event that demands the attention of all creation, and the voice of an archangel will be heard. If it will be heard, this implies it will transcend normal sound barriers. Sound travels at approximately 343 meters per second in air. For a voice to be heard simultaneously throughout the entire planet, it would have to transcend known physical laws, exactly what we would expect from a supernatural event of this magnitude. Now, let me share a fascinating theory based on the scriptures themselves. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 declares, "But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a roar, and the heavenly bodies will be burned up and dissolved, and the earth and the works that are done on it will be exposed." This verse describes cosmic transformations that will accompany Christ's return. The heavens will pass away. This suggests alterations in the very structure of space-time. If the fundamental physics of the universe is altered during the second coming, then normal limitations of visibility and perception will also be altered. Einstein proved that space and time are interconnected. If God can alter the laws of space-time, he can certainly make an event simultaneously visible from all points of Earth, regardless of planetary rotation or terrestrial curvature. But there's yet another equally fascinating possibility. Revelation chapter 21, verse 1 speaks of new heavens and new earth. If Jesus' return coincides with the renewal of all creation, then Earth's very nature can be instantly transformed. Imagine if, at the moment of the second coming, Earth temporarily stopped rotating. Imagine if the atmosphere became completely transparent. Imagine if the very light of Christ's glory was of such intensity that it penetrated through the solid planet, becoming visible even from the opposite side. These aren't crazy scientific speculations, but legitimate possibilities when we consider the power of Him who created all physical laws and can suspend or alter them at will. Joshua chapter 10 records that the sun stood still for an entire day during a battle. If God could stop the sun, or more precisely, stop Earth's rotation at that time, He can certainly make much greater adjustments during His Son's second coming. But let me present yet another perspective that may be closest to the truth. Jesus' manifestation may not be limited to a physical body in a specific location. His glory may fill the entire terrestrial atmosphere simultaneously. Habakkuk chapter 3, verses 3-4 describes a divine manifestation. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. His splendor covered the heavens, and the earth was full of His praise. His brightness was like the light. Rays flashed from His hand, and there he veiled his power. His splendor covered the heavens. This suggests a manifestation that isn't limited to a specific point, but permeates all visible celestial space. If Jesus' glory covers the heavens during his second coming, then it will be visible from any point on earth where the sky is visible. And here's something truly impressive. Matthew chapter 25, verse 31, tells us that Jesus will come in his glory, and all the angels with him. It won't be Jesus alone, but accompanied by all the angels of heaven. How many angels exist? Revelation chapter 5, verse 11, gives us a clue. Then I looked, and I heard around the throne and the living creatures and the elders the voice of many angels, numbering myriads of myriads and thousands of thousands. Myriads of myriads. In other translations, essentially a countless number. If Jesus comes accompanied by countless millions of angels, forming a celestial host that can extend across vast portions of the sky, then the manifestation would be visible from multiple points on earth simultaneously. Imagine the sky instantly filling with beings of radiant light, each shining with celestial glory, extending from horizon to horizon. Such a manifestation would transcend any limitation of geographical visibility. But there's yet another dimension to this question that's rarely considered, the temporal dimension. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8 reminds us that with the Lord 1 day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. God exists outside the temporal limitations we experience. What we perceive as simultaneously may not have the same meaning for an eternal being who transcends time. The simultaneity of the second coming may operate according to temporal laws we don't fully understand. It's possible that from the divine perspective, Jesus appears simultaneously to all earth, even if, from a limited human perspective, this occurs in an ultra-fast temporal sequence that our perception would interpret as simultaneity. Consider the speed of light. 300,000 kilometers per second. Light can travel around Earth more than 7 times in a single second. If Jesus' manifestation traveled at the speed of light, it could circumnavigate the globe almost instantly, creating the perception of absolute simultaneity. But why limit divine manifestation to the speed of light? He who created light can certainly transcend its limitations. The manifestation of the second coming may operate according to principles that science has not yet discovered or cannot discover. Now let me address a possibility that combines spiritual and physical elements in a fascinating way. John chapter 4, verse 24 declares that God is spirit. Jesus, after the resurrection, possesses a glorified body that combines physical and spiritual elements. A being that is simultaneously physical and spiritual isn't limited by the same restrictions that govern purely physical objects. He can manifest simultaneously in multiple dimensions or locations without violating fundamental physical principles. Modern quantum physics has discovered that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed, a principle called quantum superposition. If subatomic particles can be in multiple places simultaneously, how much more can the Creator of the universe manifest in ways that transcend our current understanding of reality? But there's yet another profoundly biblical perspective we shouldn't ignore. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 24 records God's words. "Can a man hide himself in secret places so that I cannot see him, declares the Lord? Do I not fill heaven and earth, declares the Lord?" God isn't limited to a specific location. His presence fills the entire universe. If Jesus is God manifested in flesh, then his second coming may be a simultaneous global manifestation of a presence that already permeates all creation. Psalm 139, verses 7 through 10, declares, "Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me." Divine omnipresence is already a reality. The second coming may simply be the visible manifestation of this presence that has always existed, but was veiled from human eyes. And here's something that may be the definitive key to understanding this mystery: the instantaneous transformation of human perception capacity itself. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 to 52, speaks of a transformation that will occur in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. "Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised imperishable, and we shall be changed." If humanity is instantly transformed at the moment of the second coming, then our perception capabilities will also be transformed. Glorified eyes can see in ways that natural eyes cannot. The limitation may not be in Jesus' manifestation, but in the current limitation of our human perception. Consider how the disciples on the Mount of Transfiguration could see Jesus in his glory, along with Moses and Elijah, figures who had died centuries before. Matthew chapter 17, verse 2, describes, "And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light." If 3 ordinary disciples could have their perceptions altered to witness normally invisible spiritual realities, how much more can all humanity have its perception transformed during the second coming? But let me present yet another possibility that unites science and faith in an extraordinary way. We know that information can travel instantaneously through quantum phenomena like entanglement. Entangled particles can affect each other instantaneously, regardless of the distance separating them. If God can utilize or transcend quantum principles, then the visual information of His manifestation can be transmitted instantaneously to all points on Earth simultaneously, regardless of light speed limitations or planetary curvature. This isn't an attempt to scientify the supernatural, but to recognize that the creator of science can operate through principles we don't yet fully understand. And there's still the possibility that the manifestation occurs in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Modern physics theorizes about the existence of dimensions beyond the 3 we experience. If Jesus manifests in higher dimensions, He could be simultaneously visible from all points of our 3-dimensional dimension. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18 speaks of comprehending what is the breadth and length and height and depth of Christ's love. 4 dimensions are mentioned. If Christ operates in dimensions that transcend our 3-dimensional experience, then His manifestation can transcend 3-dimensional geographical limitations. But perhaps the simplest and most profound explanation is this: He who created the entire universe with a word, He who upholds all things by the word of His power, can certainly manifest Himself to be seen by all His creation simultaneously. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3 declares that Jesus upholds the universe by the word of His power. If He upholds the entire universe simultaneously, He can certainly manifest to the entire universe simultaneously. The real question isn't, how is this possible, but why do we doubt the capability of Him who made all things? Our limitations of understanding don't limit divine capabilities. Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9 remind us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." When we try to understand how Jesus will be seen by everyone simultaneously, we're essentially attempting to comprehend the methods of an infinite God with finite minds. It's like an ant trying to understand the internet. But the Bible gives us all the clues we need. Jesus will come with power and great glory, accompanied by all the angels, with manifestations that transcend natural limitations, in an event that will transform not only humanity, but all creation. And here's the most important truth. Regardless of exactly how this happens, it will happen. The promise is clear, unequivocal, and absolutely reliable. Every eye will see him, including yours. The question isn't whether you'll see Jesus when he returns. You will. The question is, will you be ready for this encounter? Is your life aligned with him whom you'll meet face to face? Because when every eye sees him, when every tongue confesses that Jesus Christ is Lord, when every knee bows before him, will be too late for last-minute changes. The preparation must happen now. Jesus' second coming will be the most spectacular, most glorious, most transformative event in the history of the universe. And you'll have a front-row seat to witness this extraordinary cosmic event. The only question that remains is, are you ready?